This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of the worst province in entire Canada, New Brunswick, Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. I could care less whether my previous job didn't like that. Fuck them. I think New Brunswick is a backwards province, and I got a beautiful celebratory Toronto background behind me because it's better than New Brunswick. So fuck New Brunswick and fuck our current government. But that aside, because I know my guest kind of has the same feelings as I do on this, but I got a five-time guest on here tonight, and of course we're both part of this masterpiece. It Wants Blood.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, the James Balsamo film. It Wants Blood, and
I still need to get a physical copy of that.
well, I think James likes me more.
I guess. Send you a copy.
Yes, signed and everything.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of names on these. I think there are doctors because I can't make out a fucking single name on it. People scribbling in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chicken ran across it.
yeah. But nonetheless, folks, we have a five-time guest on here. I don't know what species he is. I think he's a form of Bigfoot. That's
On my mom's side.
folks, I give you Troy Elke. How do you do, Troy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, we have a shit liberal government right now, but I understand that you guys have shit government too.
Yeah, yeah, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear that our prime minister had a standing ovation for two standing ovations for a fucking Nazi in the Common House?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
I suppose he's going to blame that on the conservatives, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you know do you know what time Hitler used to go to bed?
What time?
9. 9:30 latest.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to get moved to Toronto and had a job lined up there. And that is when I've never gotten political on here until I saw the kind of shit and red tape I had to go through just to get moved there because of the inflation. I'm like, for fuck's sake. And how does our prime minister go from being worth, what was it? Don't quote me on this, but worth like 1 million to worth 9 million now. What, because of what happened when we all had to stay home? I didn't because I had to fucking work because I'm a cleaner. It's funny, doctors, nurses, they got deemed important, but us cleaners, oh no. Better look down on those janitors because they're nobodies. And yet we were just as much, if not more, on the fucking front lines.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty shitty time. And I've gotten some criticism over my thoughts about where I currently live. And I'm like, I could give a rat's fucking ass whether people around here don't like my thoughts about it or not. Where I live is such a backwards fucking province. It's not funny, and it's like nothing happens here. So I'm like, yeah, no wonder I want to move to Toronto because Toronto stuff happens. But right now, what needs to happen is a new prime minister. So voting Pierre Poilievre in 2025. I don't give.
Yeah.
Yep. And Poilievre, if you hear this, because I understand you're a big Troy Elke fan, supposedly, don't let us down, Mr. Poilievre. We're all counting on you. We got silver lining in you after somebody wants to turn this into a dictatorship. Yeah, can't wait till
Yeah.
certain somebody's out of office so that Canadians could trot his ass off to China so he can live in that dictatorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, Yeah, I see the post. You guys are kind of in a similar situation, and
Yeah, it's a
uh
shit show for sure.
yeah. I've never judged anybody about who they vote for. I can't stand Trudeau, but I'm not going to unfriend people that are Trudeau
Right.
supporters. It's just like there's a lot. I've seen this so much online. There's a lot of people that hate Biden and a lot of people that hate Trump. I like this whole tribalism of you can't be friends with this person, friends with that person over this. And it's like bullshit. I'm going to tell you
They've
a
been
little,
they've been
huh?
working that way for a long time to where you had to choose a side. And it's like, well, wait a minute. No, I see what this person's saying and this person's saying. I'm kind of in the middle on it. And they're like, no, you're evil.
Yeah. Well, here's what I found funny. And I uh I did my first convention in the US this year. And I went to assist Lisa Lang one at Chiller in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I did some video of my trip like I always do. And there was one trip or one video I had posted out the window of the propeller of the plane going and whatnot, for about a minute, and my mom hates those videos. She will fly, but nonetheless, I got this message or a comment on the video of somebody saying, this person's obviously a Biden supporter. So what a waste of time of a video. And I'm sitting there thinking, Biden supporter, I'm a fucking Canadian, you moron.
Yeah.
I,
Now
I
people
have
are you're 100% right. People are just instantly, if they hear something that they don't agree with, for a long time now, for years now, especially with social media, they have been, kind of teaching people to be virtue signalers. Hey, what? You're not bitching about this thing, then you must be for it. Oh no, no, I don't want any trouble. Yeah, thing. And it's just gotten more and more and more and more and more like that.
well,
Uh,
what I find funny is the only thing said in that video was, and we're off. What does that have to do with Trump or Biden?
right.
And then I think I know who was doing it too. It was somebody who's been on my show a few times, and I could care less. I'm not a fan of Biden and not a fan of Trump, but this person was a major Trump supporter and didn't like my stance on some of his issues. I could care, like, to me, he was just a guest. I
Yeah.
don't care who votes for who. I don't care.
Right. Not my
But
business.
yeah, I mean, I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter. Come on my show. I don't care. It's none of my business who you vote for. But this guy, I'm the only one that's promoted his books, which I haven't seen any evidence of even existing. But there was some things on some of my videos that sounded like something he sent to me before I blocked him. I had a video from Chiller of Stefan Armgrim. I caught him playing his harmonica, and I just took the video. I had another some pictures, of or videos of me doing my haul video of what I got at Chiller,
Oh, right, right, right.
and stuff like that. And there was the same message. Um, Trump Save America 2024. Trudeau liberals are banned. Blah blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, number one, I don't like Justin Trudeau, so fuck off. Number two, this video has nothing to do with your rhetoric.
Oh,
But what
weird.
really pissed me off is one of the videos he put, "Sup, child groomer." And he hid behind
Uh,
this little thing called Red Devil. That was his name because he wouldn't dare come out and let me know who he actually is.
right. Coward.
That really pissed me off because I don't know where the child groomer was, but my videos was about my trip. So what was this fucking cocksucker doing on here harassing me? Now, if it is who I think it is, he said stuff similar to me before I blocked him. He was promoting a bunch of books on here that I've never seen anywhere online. I've seen images of stuff that he's put online, but otherwise nothing. And I know that he's caused division between himself and uh, a guest of mine who introduced me to him. And I don't know what happened between those two, but I could take a wild guess. But he obviously made her uncomfortable. But um, I know that there was one time that there was a thing he sent to me about an article written about him by somebody named Melissa English, and I'm wondering if Melissa English is even a real person. Maybe, I don't know. What caught me is all of the stuff Melissa English was supposedly saying about this guy, and then addressed him being on my show. What was interesting is my interviews are timed when they come out publicly. And it said that Python's Paradise, Greg's interviewed such guests as Slava Tuckerman, who is the director of Liquid Sky, and Diane Franklin, among others. And I'm sitting here thinking my Slava Tuckerman interview just went public. And number at that time just went public. And number two, what an odd choice of somebody to pick when I've had Tommy Wiseau, Ralph Bakshi, you name it. I've had some bigger names. And Diane Franklin, it just seemed like a random name they threw out. It's like, okay, I recognize this name. Let's throw her out there. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm wondering if he was still promoting himself under a pseudonym.
Hmm.
Yeah. But whoever this Red Devil is, whether it's him or not, meet me in a parking lot. If you know I'm going to be at a con, let me know. Come on out. Let's go out in the parking lot. We'll settle it. Because look, I hate using violence to settle anything, but sometimes beating the fuck out of somebody, it seems to be the only way to get the message across to some people. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but it really, I kind of agree with that Texan attitude, because some people don't fucking grasp it otherwise,
Right.
you know. It's just weird. But I don't get in fights very often. Haven't been in a fight for years, but I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of these people online that spew their bullshit that would never say it in the vicinity of me.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Hide behind the keyboard.
yeah. They're big behind the keyboard. So I'm sitting there thinking, if this is the guy, I'm thinking, good luck with your books on the worst sellers list. The ones that aren't selling, because you know what? I'm the only one that promoted you, and you want to throw this Trump stuff at me? I'm a fucking Canadian. I have no shift on what that vote goes like. So it's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yep. I
People are
can only,
crazy.
yep, yep. But it's just weird. It's just like people are severing friendships and relationships over fucking politics. It's like,
It's
fuck
bizarre.
off. Yeah. Yeah. What happened to your
I,
face? Why do you got a scar?
what?
Why you got a scar on your face?
Where?
On your nose? What happened? Did squirrels slap you?
Oh, I just took the glasses off.
Yeah.
Probably. Unless it's a
Yeah.
shadow. I don't know.
How's the squirrel?
Doing well. Doing
Yeah.
good. As ornery as ever.
Yeah.
Squirrely as ever.
Do you let him free to run around the house while you sleep?
Yep.
Yeah. Does he ever come and dance on your head?
Yeah, it actually jumps off of my head. That's always a treat.
Yeah.
He's actually gonna he's gonna make his Well, he was in a short that I did called Meth Squirrel,
He was in your shorts.
and no, I keep cheese in my underwear to attract mice. But he's going to be in the movie. I got a spot for him in the movie. He's going to play
Does your
Rodney the
wife ever
Squirrel,
dance on your head?
with a hammer, meat cleaver.
Oh, how have you been, man? We're doing our annual June. You got June 21st for some weird reason. You've been on here
Yep.
5 times, June 21st. Tracy
Yeah.
Savage has got Boxing Day locked down. She comes on every year Boxing Day.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah. Just been busy. Uh, doing the writing a story and then into a screenplay and then directing a movie, and I'm also catering, FX, costumes, fucking script supervisor, fucking sound. It's like, ay, ay, ay.
you're a
But
regular Tommy Wiseau.
it's coming together.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun
So
so far. Been so lucky to get just such great actors, great people.
what? They're all you?
I could be, yeah, yeah. I had to play all the parts,
Listen,
especially
what's that
the
behind you? It's from from director Troy Oelke, Indiegogo, Werewolves from Mars.
yes, that is the shooting title of the movie, which is actually based on my short story, Nazi Werewolves from the Moon.
Okay. So
So go ahead.
where did this come from? Where did I shouldn't ask where this idea come from. Holy cow, that's a far-reaching question when it comes to you.
Yeah, it is honestly just hard to explain. I took an interest in writing a little bit. I wrote a story, and then I wanted to write another one, and I just had the story in my head bouncing around, and it's a 50s. Just imagine a black and white film grade 50s creature feature, somewhere around the Universal monsters kind of a thing. And so I decided I wanted to do that. And I wrote a story, and the backstory is that Hitler, when he died, when he killed himself or whatever, he didn't. He actually escaped. And when the Russians got in there and got him, there was an American who spent years and years and years infiltrating. He was a spy. And he, as Hitler and his cohorts were escaping, this guy shot at him, shot one of the guys, and they dropped something. And he picked it up and realized it was extremely important, too important for the Russians to have. In fact, too important for anyone to have. So he hid it and he kept it for all these years. Well, in 1942 or whatever it was, 45, whenever he died, I forget. But he didn't die. So they made up the whole Argentina escape thing so they could debunk it. He really went to the moon. So they'd been working on a base on the moon for about a decade. He took his top scientists, his wife, German shepherds, and his best soldiers and took off to the moon. And before they left to the moon, as you know, the Nazis were really into all kinds of weird scientific experiments, paranormal, all kind. They were trying everything. And so they got a hold of some werewolf blood, and they made a serum that they were trying to make the ultimate super soldier. Well, his right hand man, Hans Wilhelm, he would do anything for the Fuhrer. So he decided to be the one. And so they started practicing on him while they were down here. Well, during the Second World War, he was out murdering people in the streets. The news would blame it on this. The propaganda machine would blame it on this, that, or the other thing, animal attacks, blah, 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 so on. Anyway, when they escaped to the moon, they made up the story and everything. So they hid it. Well, it's the 50s, but it's 2050. So we're after World War IV and everything, that we've gone back to a simpler time. We've got all 50s cars and everything's back to the 50s. And So we've got some kids, some college age kids out on Lover's Lane there. And she's got important news to tell her boyfriend when suddenly a big bright light comes across the sky, and they decide that they're going to go hunt this thing down and see what it is. Maybe it's valuable. Maybe, they don't know. Nothing happens in this little town. So we're going to go find this doggone thing. Meanwhile, the thing lands and we have trouble. It wasn't a meteor after all. It was a rocket ship with a Nazi werewolf from the moon. And he gets out and he's after that device that's been passed down through generation and generation of decorated military family, with the story being told as well to protect it. Someday they will come back for it. Well, now is that time. They're coming back for this. Now, what this thing is, well, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, if they get a hold of it, the world is doomed. So we have the world against the Nazis. A werewolf is pretty awful. How could you make him worse? Make him a Nazi. And so I keep saying he's 80% werewolf, 100% Nazi. So this guy is out and he likes to kill by hand, axes and knives, and he doesn't just slash you up with his claws and everything. So we have a shit ton of humor. So this is like Young Frankensteinish.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have horror and the monster. We're going to keep that kind of scary and gory. And then the funny. We have, I think the word damn was said once. That's the only cuss word that we have in the movie.
How many times was fuck said?
What's that?
How many times was fuck said?
Yeah, no, we kept this one clean like a 50s movie. We did a lot of the driving sequences are in the car with like the green screen, so it has that total 50s look with the traffic going behind them and all that. We're shooting again this weekend is our big. I still got a lot more of the movie to shoot, but this weekend is our climactic scene that we're shooting. So it's been a treat. My actors and actresses, I got Ron Sloan in it from Friday the 13th, Part 5. Michael Bayouth has been an absolute treat. This is Ted White's son. And
you know what? You got to connect me with him. I've had Ted White on here twice.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure he'd love to do it. He has been, he's a director. He's been around Hollywood his whole life. So he's been really kind of mentoring, for me.
Is he a stunt guy too?
No, not Michael, but Ted was, but he has
that's why I was wondering. I was wondering if he Ted passed that down to his son.
If you talk to him, he has some of the greatest stories. Like he was on the set of Goonies in the pirate ship in the water slides and all that. He was there, sat next to Spielberg. He did the storyboarding for Dr. Octopus on Spider-Man 2. Anyway, he's just been an absolute kick in the pants. He's a hilarious actor, super talented guy, and he's got one of his stories is of the smashing of the kid's face in the shower from Part 4 or 5.
Part 4 was Ted White, yeah.
Yeah, and he has this whole story on that. You will just love on how, like, that head was very precious, and they're like,
I've already heard. Ted White told me that Tom Savini cautioned Ted White about it, and of course the thing all smashed up. And Ted White said, "Look, Tom, we got the shot."
Yeah. Yeah, he's been a real treat. And my other actors and actresses is just they've just been.
Who else you got? You got Ron Sloan. You got what's his name? Michael what?
Bayouth.
Bayou. Why is that not White?
Bayouth. I don't know. Um, but yeah, they're great. And then I got my actress, my star actress Sarah. She is just phenomenal. Rowan plays Bobby. He's kind of our Gilligan, uh, kind of a dipstick, and she's the one with the brains. She's the one with the gun training, and so she's the ass kicker. She does the driving. Uh, and Bobby, the college quarterback, he's just kind of a doofy goof who's scared. He's a little bit of Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and that kind of thing. So it's been a treat. Like, oh yeah, what I was getting at was Michael said, you're getting a $250,000 USC film education right now, and he's not kidding. I mean, it's a lot of work, and Deborah drove across, brought me all her equipment, and so we're using all that. We got all that shit we're using,
Is Debbie
and
Sue in the movie?
no, she's just producing, and
Yes, I saw your pics with her. She and I still aren't talking, but that's fine. You know what's amazing? And I don't want to get off course here, but what's amazing is that uh I've made amends with Jason Bradford. I had him on my show last year, and he come on. He actually sent me the writings of his book Bitch.
yeah,
So
yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for him.
I'm actually quite happy that he sent that to me. But he and I have made amends. Uh, what's really funny is that this whole stop Judy Aronson bullshit. I had Lar Park Lincoln on last year for the second time, and
She's
Lar knows
hilarious.
all about this. And Lar knows I have her number, and she said she always looks forward to hearing from me. She said, "You want me to give you Terry Kaiser's phone number so you can stalk him?" Problem is Terry doesn't have Zoom, so I did
uh,
talk to him though,
yeah, I
but
think he'd be a fun one. I always liked him, and then of course Weekend at Bernie's.
yeah, he's good at playing dead.
Yeah,
And Tracy Savage has been on my show 5 times on Boxing Day, and it's funny. I don't know where things went afoul with me and 13 Fanboy. But I'll tell you, between Debbie Sue and especially Judy Aronson, somebody owes me an apology somewhere. But Ted White gave me the info on Judy. But I'll tell you one thing. I was talking to somebody that used to represent her at the conventions, and he don't represent her anymore. He told me why. And when she tried to get back with him, when things weren't working out, he turned her down. So I'm getting a feeling of what I'm dealing with there, and I'll just go count my losses there. But even with Friday the 13th Part 5, Melanie Kinnaman reached out to me recently and asked if for a connection to Frightmare in the Falls, which is one of the conventions I've been at. I find it funny, these people don't see me as a stalker. So
it's weird. I working in sales, I meet so many different people, and it's just so random. People are so different.
yeah.
You never know.
But here's the thing. I'm glad you had a great experience with Debbie Sue. I'm not telling anybody not to be friends. I find it funny how many people got a platform on my show that would never get a platform on any other show that completely disowned me because she was in that fifth movie and I'm obviously a nobody. And yes, I'm looking at Vincent DeSante on that. Of course, he had other platforms, but he took her side. And it's funny, my brother had it out with him online one night, uh, defending my side, but because he's my manager, so to speak. But I'm sad things went the way it did, but I think you know yourself, and I'm under the impression that Jason Bradford, I think, now knows too. All the shit that came out about me, none of it was true.
Right.
Yep. So I'm very happy about that. But I know your good friend Christopher Norris was one of the ones that cut me off, and that's fine. That's fine. But I'm not going to tell anybody who they can and cannot be friends with. And I pretty much cut ties with 13 Fanboy, but Bobby Heckman, uh, he, he's been connected with me through Victim No More. And when I met Kimberly back at Frightmare in the Falls, like he unfortunately couldn't make it because work, but I met her. I didn't bring this shit up because I was there to have fun. So, but
I think he's working on part two.
yeah, Judy wasn't there for that. I think that was my fault. It was my fault. But I met her. I met the twins. I met a very expensive Corey Feldman who was fucking weird. Fucking weird. And I met Eric Anderson, who we most recently lost. Never had him on the show, but I got to meet him.
Who's that?
Eric Anderson, who played Rob.
Oh, yeah. He just passed recently, right?
I asked him if he was there in Niagara Falls hunting Jason. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's not here. But Ted White was my favorite Jason out of the bunch. You know, he was my favorite Jason out of the bunch. And sorry things worked out that turned out the way they did with 13 Fanboy, but nonetheless, I'm happy for those that stayed connected with me. And for those who didn't, you know what? Believe what they want to believe. I do have an email from Debbie Sue who stated nothing was canceled because of me. So any of those fuckers who went on there and said that a screening of 13 Fanboy was canceled because of my actions, got an email from Debbie Sue that says otherwise. So to those people, fuck off. But rest assured, Tracy Savage, Lar Park Lincoln, and I could probably list some other people. None of them believe it. None of them believe I'm guilty. So, and I've often joked when I went to Chiller, I went there to assist Lisa at the event. Didn't go there to stalk Judy. I'm sorry, I didn't go. Scotty McCoy sent me a thing recently. He said, your girlfriend turned I shouldn't say her age. I should be politer than that. But he says, turned such and such an age this week. I'm like, really? Fuck. I'm busy that day. I can't stalk her. If I ever do, though, I might have to stop by your place and get, freshened up.
Yep.
I can't stink when I'm doing my Judy stalking. But anyway, getting off of that tangent, I'm glad that you still have a good relationship with her. The photos with her look nice, and so she's helping produce your film.
Yep.
Don't
her and I, she helped me finish the script and made a full ass story out of it.
You got a kitty there.
Yep.
I see a kitty.
Chili.
I love kitty cats. Isn't she going to cameo in it?
No, I'm trying to talk her into it. I'm not sure. I have this idea and I'll see if it plays. And when the movie's done, I'll see if she wants to do it and it plays. Maybe I can talk her into it. I got a great little idea for her. And tomorrow, Sunday again, we're doing the climactic scene. And there's a fucking part in there that is so goddamn funny. I cannot wait. I hope it plays out because it's really silly.
I think it'd be great if she did a cameo in your movie. I think it would be awesome.
Hoping
But
she does. Trying to get her to.
well, I'm glad that she come down there to meet you. Obviously, you've been doing a lot of you've come a long fucking way.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck.
I
I know.
mean,
She's
I
thinking about
remember
it.
when yeah, I remember when I first interviewed you, and then all of a sudden you're in Pig with Nicolas Cage, and you're in this and you're in that, and it's like
Like
yeah.
5 years ago, I just wanted to be an extra one time so I could pause a film and say, "See it back there in the crowd? That guy's sitting there, like to my grandkids or something." That's me. And then it took up. I just did. I worked on a movie just 3 weeks ago. Um, I'm not allowed to say what it is or who's in it, but I will tell you that she's in a movie that rhymes with Guardians of the Galaxy, and she has a character that rhymes with Blebulous. But anyway, this certain actress is doing a movie, and I can't name the movie, but it's about having children, and apparently two friends decide together to have kids, and only one of them ends up pregnant. Anyway, long story short, I do featured background work around here, and they called me up, and I got there, and they were like, "Hey, as I was just getting my clothes, my fittings at that wardrobe, and the guy walks up to the woman helping me, get my stuff, and he says, "The bartender's a no-show." She looks over at me and she says, "Do you wear size 32 pants by chance?" And I said, "I sure do." And they made me the bartender. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun. Just sit there and silently pretend to serve drinks. But uh, it was a lot of fun. And this is during shooting my own movie, which we've had to, it's been a real time rush. That's the only thing I haven't liked is I've had to shoot more scenes in a day than I wanted to because my lead actress is moving at the end of the month out of state. And it's not very feasible to have her back to do all these other scenes. So our big climactic scene is this weekend. And then we got a lot of pickup shots. And then I got all the rest of the movie. This is just because she had to leave. She's one of the couple that sees the thing in the beginning and then they go all the way through the movie and they meet people along the way. So now I got to go back and do all the people's things and, pick up all the other stuff. But
So it's like Bo,
cool.
it's like Bo is Afraid with werewolves.
I don't think I've seen that. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So we're making what I'm calling it a family slasher.
A family slasher. Now that's a little warped.
Yeah, it's a family slasher film.
Get that past the MPAA.
Yeah, right. Right. There will be blood. There's no nudity and no sex and no cussing, but there will be blood.
Well, like I said, I'm really glad that Debbie Sue came down and worked on that with you, and I hope you can get her to do a cameo, and I think fans would love that. And I know you contributed quite a bit with her film, so I think that would be great. It's nice that you got to put her name on it, but if you get a great cameo scene in her, what
Yeah,
in mind,
I have a perfect cameo for her.
I hope
I
she
remember
says
too,
yes.
you and I had talked back a while ago, and I was talking about using you in one of my movies as the radio DJ. Remember we
I'm
talked about
open
that?
for it.
Uh my next movie after this, it will be there. I'm doing an anthology.
Why, why,
So
why, why can't I do it here?
oh actually I probably will, to be
I
honest
could
with you,
say you're
because
listening to Werewolf AM,
I
FM.
gotta go to, I mean, once we get to post and stuff, there'll be a lot of that kind of stuff. So
Listen, man, I'm at your disposal. If you need me, I'm happy to. I can't travel down there, obviously, Uh, Oregon might be a little too close to Judy, and I don't want to make her nervous. You had a kitty cross in front of you. I like the kitty
Yeah.
cat. Is that a
Little shit.
calico?
Yep.
Oh, I love it. It's like a
Yeah, I
Napoleon ice
actually have
cream
I
cat.
have a pair of calicos, Chili and Chi
Ah,
Chi.
I love my cat,
This
Yeah.
is Chili here. Well,
I know you keep disappearing on
here
and
I don't
off.
know,
Those
but oh,
werewolves are competing.
yeah. So we raised like $6,000 for the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the best fucking movie I can for 6K, and I'm doing everything. I mean, it'd be obviously a lot easier if I had someone else doing lighting, a lighting department, if I had someone else doing the script supervising for me, and so I could just direct. But uh, whatever. It's a super awesome learning experience, and I'm getting to do things that I didn't have any clue how to do, and most definitely getting better at each of it. I'm just learning so much each time. I'm learning where my strengths are, and I'm learning where my weaknesses are. And my weaknesses are definitely the slate. I fuck that up every time. Shot 26, take 4, shot 1. No, wait, was that shot 4, take 1? No, wait, was that fuck it, shot 99. And so I've got someone now that is doing a script supervising and handling the slate for me. So now I can just do my thing. So
You got Christopher Norris in it, your old buddy?
no, I tried to get him to fly in, but he couldn't. He's on as a producer though.
What, his name makes you yawn? He's that boring to you?
But
Um,
yeah,
what
so
about
it's
some
really
others like Noelle Berger or people like that?
she actually is going to be in it. She got one of the film from home perks, which we're doing something really cool with this. So in this movie, there's a couple of things that I'm doing that are a little bit different. First of all, I'm again going black and white with the film grain and 50s. I'm biting off a big chunk here to try to do. But in the middle of the movie, it's going to come to a screeching halt. And let's all go to the lobby. We're going to have the intermission. And then we're going to have a couple of commercials, one of which is by the product placement people paid $1,000 for their product to be in there. And then we'll do like another faux commercial and then get back to the movie. So at the end of the movie, if you remember Cannonball Run, when they run the credits, they got the little blooper reel off to the side. So I have during the credits, we are going to have people there, eyewitness news accounts, basically talking about their sighting of a werewolf or a Nazi werewolf or whatever. And I have, see, this is where I think you might come in. This might be a great spot for you, but I have a guy from Australia. I have Carrie Yates from the
Oh,
UK.
love Carrie Yates. Yeah.
I have, so I've got I've got these accents from kind of all around. I get the Canada one would be great.
I'll do it.
Whatever you would say in there, you would make sure that you mentioned Canada, that you're from Canada. So we give it this
Yep.
whole world feel. And so we're going to do that. We're going to run that during the credits. And then after those are over, we're going to run the blooper reel. Or no, excuse me. Either the blooper reel next, I think. And then we're going to run like 3 faux trailers and then finish out the credits and everything. And then we're going to have one of those things like when the credit ends, there's
I
this
actually
last
know
scene that comes up.
exactly what I would do.
Okay.
I know exactly, it just came to me. I know exactly what I would do for the werewolf sighting thing for Canada. I
Okay.
know exactly I'm not going to say what I'll do, but if you want me to do it,
I
I'll
do. I do.
record it.
So you are going to represent Canada when you do this.
Huh?
So, I'm going to be filming my last scene filming will probably be in late August, possibly even early September. But
right around when I get to the end, I'm going to gather up all of those. So when I'm editing it, I just I'll put it all in and all that. So yeah, and then at sometime this summer, I'll call upon you to do your. And all we're doing really is just pretend like there's a guy in front of you with a microphone on fucking K8 Eyewitness News, and you're talking about your experience with the Nazi werewolf from the moon. And you don't have to mention the moon or anything or whatever, but somehow you had a werewolf sighting, and yeah,
I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know
okay.
exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Make sure you record it in high res on your phone, which I'm sure it already is.
Yeah, I can record it on my phone. Yep.
We'll probably do like, I don't know, 15 to 30 seconds each person saying all
Okay, I can do that.
Depending on the spiel. Like, practice a couple of them, and then we'll condense it down and take what you think is the best parts and just put that into the one, like 30-second reel. And then, yeah, absolutely. Make sure you mention Canada if you have a Canadian flag or anything that you can have with you that just really screams, Canada. Awesome. If you want to mention any people from Canada per se, that also would work.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I
actually,
I
though,
have an idea of something funny.
the only thing you really can't do is mention like Trudeau, only
No, I'm not
because,
going to do that. I don't want to ruin your
well,
movie.
yeah, this is 2059. He's not around anymore. So originally I had Eddie Deason in my. I was going to have him play the general president.
Yeah.
That did not end up working out, but
What happened with him? I understand he's had some problems.
he has had some problems, and then he had some kind of falling out with his manager and claimed that his manager did a bunch of weird shit and threatening stuff. And
If it's who I think it is,
he really
is his manager's name Steve?
off about it. And yeah, I was friends with him up until about 2 weeks before that happened. And I had a deal in place, and a certain person decided before the agreed time of payment to demand money. And I said, no, we agreed, here. And this is like 2 weeks before it even was supposed to happen. And then, starts basically being insulting. Well, if you were serious about it, you'd put down this much money right now. I'm like, no, I already have a fucking agreement. And that's the agreement we're going by. And it became a little thing. And I just told him, you know what, never mind. I don't need him. And so that's where we left off. And then he unfriended me.
Is his first name Stephen? It is, isn't it? Okay, I know who you. Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm going to tell you my little story about him. I don't know how he connected with me. I think he wanted to make money through me. I don't make money at this podcast, but he sent a lot of guests my way in 2017. And I appreciated it. But I think he was looking for.
I loved him. We were, he was very helpful. And then, I don't know.
Well, Eddie Deason was one of the people I got through him. But I'm going to tell you, there come a point where he had contacted me, and he put me in a position that was very unprofessional. I'm going to say the actress's name is Leanna Lewis. She was either going to move to Los Angeles or move to New Mexico. And I think she decided to go to New Mexico. And I don't think she really pursued acting. She's been in some stuff. Very lovely person. I'm still connected with her. But he flipped out on her for wanting to not taking him up on management there in Los Angeles. And he had contacted me one night to get involved in this fight with her. So, and I said to him, I said, this has nothing to do with me. And he basically messaged me and he said, I can't be associated with somebody who doesn't have my back. And we disassociate. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. My job was to interview her, not get involved in your personal
Yeah,
it's like me with Debbie Sue. I'm not telling you to cut ties with her,
exactly.
or fight on my
Making a
behalf.
choice or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I contacted Leanna and I sent her a message. And well, actually, first I called her and she didn't pick up. And I was like, okay. So I sent her a private message. I explained the situation. Suddenly my phone rings. It's Leanna. And she had told me, she said, look, I thought you were one of the people that he sent to harass me. And I said, this has been happening. And she said, yes. So I said, look, I appreciated interviewing you. That was all I was supposed to be doing. I've had a couple people have done that with me. They make this connection with me and they see that I'm doing this and they're like, well, if I send people your way, maybe we can make money at it. I have a bit of an issue with that. I got nothing against making money at my podcast, but I wish there was a way I could make money at it while the guests get a piece of it. Because let's face it, the guests make up. People don't come on here to fucking hear me. They want to hear the guest, you know? And I understand that. I've had a few guests that were in some big movies that said, "No, you should totally make money at your show." And then there's other people that are like, eh, they're like, "Well, we should get a fee for this," and I can't argue with them on that. And but my job is to interview people. It's like it'd be about the same as me interviewing you and you saying, "Well, I got a problem with this person. Can you get involved?" Not, I know you wouldn't do that, but you get my point.
Right.
I've had issues with Christopher Norris. I've got issues with Debbie Voorhees. I've had issues with people from 13 Fanboy. I am not in any way going to sabotage your relationship with those people. It's not my place to do it. I like you as a person. If they don't like me, fuck them. I don't care. Um, but I'm glad that you still have those connections. And I'm glad you're human enough to say, Greg's a decent guy. He's been good to me. I'm going to look past this. And I think we can all be friends here. And I
Yeah.
agree. So I know who you're talking about. And I think what you should do, if you're able to, see if you can get him on and work with him without dealing with Steve.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I actually just reached out to him and I asked him, to give me a quote if he was interested. If he wasn't, that's fine because he's mostly retired, but he does like to do some things.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can get him, it'd be great. I think he's got a website. You might want to try that if you can. There might be an email on there. I'll see what I can find if its website's still there. But yeah, I'm sorry that happened, man, and I'm not surprised that happened. But
This
he
person, it was really weird because after, so the one thing I found this person saying to me is, "Hey, do me a favor, will you put this guy in your movie?" Okay, and then hey, let me put you on some podcasts. I mean, it was cool. It was good. But one of the guys that he sent my way, I made room for, made a part for him, and he went on vacation with Ed and his manager, and we're just best buddies, best buddies, best buddies. Then the falling out happened, and this kid actor, unfriended Ed and sided with the other person. And it wasn't too long after that that I literally was going out of my way to show this kid that just because this guy and I had a falling out and I was doing him a favor by having you in my movie, you're still in there. I made a commitment to you. That's between us. This, I'm not going to fire you because I'm mad at this guy. It has nothing to do with
Yep.
our deal. Yeah. And he recently had to step back. I'm going to have to. I can see this kid's eyes are full of stars, and he's being fed this stuff, and he's just probably handing out the cash, and he's gonna make me a star, and yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I know exactly who you're dealing. And this guy's tried to reach out. I've had to block this guy 2 or 3 times.
He's still out there. He's under a different last name. And
If you find out anything like that, let me know so I can block him. And I've let a few other people know about him as well. But it's
yeah,
just
strange
been
deal.
this
He was really cool and seemed like,
same here. Yep.
yeah, I thought he was very helpful, and I thought he was just this good dude. And then all of a sudden, which shows me now that there was ulterior motives. I'm sure,
Yep.
money. He ain't doing nothing to help no one. This kid right now, he's traveling around with and everything, and he went from a certain person to some kid that now, it's just, I don't know how far. Definitely different.
Well, you know something? Here's another thing too. I had another person that reached out to me and was great with me and was making all these promises. We're going to connect. And he did a wrestling show. And I've had a few people from wrestling shows on here. So I'm this is one person in particular, but I'm not going to say the name of the person. But he connected me with some wrestlers. And I know I have one in particular, one major performer on my show through this guy. But anyway, he had asked me if I could connect him with Teal Piper, Roddy Piper's daughter. And I said, sure, I could reach out. So look at a nice kitty cat. So I connected them. So what happens, I get this message from this guy, and he says, Till Piper just screwed me over. And I messaged him back. I said, how'd she screw you over? He goes, she had agreed to do today, and now all of a sudden her plans changed. And I said, yeah,
Plans change.
what? You know what? Teal has changed, had to reschedule with me a few times. I have somebody coming on for the second time from the movie Office Space who had to reschedule with me this week because her kid was sick and she couldn't do the interview at that time. It happens. Here's my thing I would tell podcasters. Stop doing your show on a particular time or a particular date. Because what you're doing is you're limiting the time somebody can come on your show. I always tell people, what dates and times are you available? And I will coordinate with that. This is recorded. This isn't live between you and I, And so I schedule the interviews that way, and it's recorded. That way, nothing can go wrong or something said on a live thing that shouldn't, or you give out your home address or something like that, and you get some Christopher Norris impersonators show up. but here's the thing: people reschedule, and I said to him, I said, there people reschedule, and he goes, and he took the same thing as a Steven guy. It was like, you're taking her side, and I'm like, I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm like, people reschedule. So
That's the
instead,
reality.
well, here's the thing. I found out through her that he was rude and ignorant and said some nasty stuff to her because of this, because she had to do a wrestling thing and it was a spur of the moment thing. So I'm like, I'm very apologetic towards her, but she and I are still connected. She still comes on my show every year. But the thing is, I made that connection between her and this is how he represents himself through me.
Right.
And he's expecting me to take his side. I'm like, you're the one that goes on there, what, Monday night or whatever. I got a great idea. How about record your show? That way you don't have to go through this nonsense. And she said that he was quite rude to her and whatnot, but she's good with me. Again, not my problem. So I run into this every now and again, and it's my advice: do recorded interviews. That way you can reschedule easily, and yeah, you don't have to have instead of having her on the show, he could have rescheduled and had her on the show. Instead, he's not getting her at all because he was being an asshole about it. I don't get that. So I understand where you're coming from there. I would recommend, if you can get through Eddie Decent through other ties, do it. Check to see if he's still got a web page. I don't know. It might require a fee, but if you can do it and it's not overly expensive, I think he'd be great for your show, especially for the 50s.
Yeah, I really like him. I honestly want him to play the president of the United States of America.
Excellent casting. You tell him that and see what you can arrange with him. Don't do it through this guy. I'm sorry that happened. I wish I had known beforehand because I would have warned you. But if he's got any other different names, you let me know so I can block him right away because I'm not putting up with that. I'm sure he's told people not to do my show. It's like, fuck him. Whether somebody does my show or not doesn't affect me one way or another. I had a life before the show, and if this show ends, I'll still have a life.
Right.
Yep. So there you go. Sorry that happened, man, but keep trying them. Is there anybody else that you want to get in? You got Ron Sloan, possibly Debbie
I'll
Sue.
tell you. I will tell you. I got hooked up with a fella that I'm really still kind of kicking myself in the pants. It didn't work out. Um, he's very old and he was getting really confused about what we were talking about, and he said, it sounds amazing and it sounds like it's going to sell, but he said, I don't understand. I don't understand. And what I did was I made the mistake of telling him the entire story about Hitler on the moon, and now it's the 2050s and it's after World War IV and it's the future, the past, and the whatever. And he's like, what? Anyway, so I spoke on the phone for a while with Larry Hankin, and he had agreed to come up and play a part. And then he called me back. He called me back and was like, "Wait, no, what? Explain," because I left him a message saying, "Okay, cool, we're on. Let me just give you a basic rundown of the story." And then he's like, "I don't. I'm confused. Well, I don't understand what." And he was just like, because this guy, like, when he played the tow truck driver in Breaking Bad, he went and lived in a trailer in a tow yard for like 2 weeks before that. When he worked on Annie as the dog catcher, he showed up and they gave him his suit. And he said, "What the hell is this?" And they said, "That's your dog catcher suit." He said, "This is brand new. This looks like a costume. Do you mind if I make some alterations?" And they're like, "Sure, go for it." And he went outside and threw it all in a mud puddle and stomped up and down on it and scuffed it and ripped it and did what he says. "Now this
is a 1920s dog catcher, or whatever, and how it should look. And so he takes his stuff very seriously. So I think with the part, it was too much. It was too confusing.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion for you? You're
Sure.
looking for an older fella, somebody
Well, I
kind
already
of older.
cast Ron Sloan in that
Oh,
part.
did you? I was
Yeah,
going
and
to
we
say I
filmed.
could hook you up with Bill Whedon.
Who's that?
Bill Whedon.
Why do I know that name?
He was in some of the Trauma films.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Toxic Avenger 4. He's in I've had him on the show. He'd be good
Where's
for
he
you.
from? Is he
I
from California or?
He might be. I think so. I don't quote me on it.
Hmm,
I've got him on Facebook. You could look him up.
okay.
Yeah. Another one you might want to look at is Michael St. Michael's from the Greasy Strangler.
Uh
That guy's a
is
hoot.
that the star, the white haired guy?
Yep.
Oh, I'd love to have him. My friends are the ones who've been trying to get me to watch that damn movie for years, and I finally watched it. And I was like, holy shit, that is not what I thought. Oh, I laughed so hard.
I had him on and I had the other fella on, then I had them both on together. I got a Greasy Strangler beanie that Sky Eliver, who played the junior, uh, uh, he sent to me. And I could put you in touch with him if you want him on as
Yeah,
part of it. Yep.
that
He
would be
doesn't
pretty
go
amazing.
by Michael St. Michael's on Facebook though, but I could
Right.
put you I could put you in touch with him. Bill
Okay.
Whedon is another one. Um, for an older gentleman who's still active,
You know who lives one city over?
a person.
Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas.
I don't
Well,
think he'd
all you have to do is get some M&Ms, and you might be able to lead him
right.
to
Some
your.
Reese's Pieces, coax him in.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other people too, like some older people. How about somebody, of course, this guy's in Texas, but somebody like John Dugan from
Uh,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre who played
yeah,
Grandpa.
yeah.
Like there are definitely some people out there that I could connect you with that would would be great. I'm glad you got Ron Sloan though. That's a good choice.
Yeah, I love him. He's
Yep.
great.
But yeah, like if you want me to try to connect you with somebody, like I don't manage anybody or anything like that, but if you want me to try to connect you with somebody, I could certainly point you in the right direction. If they're on got some of these people on Facebook, just send them a message. Like I'm sure they'd be happy to hear you out. I mean, Bill Whedon's done lots of weird shit. So, I mean, he was in trauma movies. So, I mean, this he won't bat an eye at this, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So, something like that might be good. Uh, yeah, there's ideas like that you can. But I think if you got Eddie Thiessen to play the president, that'd be so epic.
I just really want him to come on the TV and address the nation as the president of the United States of America. I think it'd be phenomenal, especially with his wacky sense of humor, and his delivery would be just amazing.
Well, then this is what I say. Get in touch with him uh, either through his webpage. He might be on Facebook. I don't have him on Facebook.
He is. I've been messaging him, so we'll see if he answers me or not. I mean, I've talked to him a few times before. He made me a video and stuff, but
Okay, okay.
this is more business. So
See what you can work out with him. I'm sorry uh I don't trust the Steve guy. I've had dealings with him, not for a long time. I will not deal with him. And I'm not the only one who's dealt with that. So, um, like I don't want to trash talk the Steve guy. He sent
right,
a great guest my way, but I'm an interviewer. I help people promote their stuff. I'm not here to get involved. It's just like the 13 fanboy thing. I was pissed when there was people that turned on me because I was not famous enough for them to fucking listen to. But I never told anybody to turn on them.
right.
There you go. And the fact that Jason Bradford's come around on me, and Laura Park Lincoln and Tracy Savage, they still associate with me.
Yep.
It I
So does
hope,
he.
yeah, and I hope that things could be smoothed over with Debbie Sue and Judy Aaron. I doubt things will be smoothed over with Judy Aronson. I'd like to have things smoothed over with Debbie Sue, but I'm not going to push for it. Uh, I'm pretty sure she saw the video where I backed over the movie with my car and mentioned her and Judy Aronson. I've had a lot of people applaud me for that, but hey, when I get met with the kind of shit that I did after putting 3K into your movie, what do you expect? You stepped on the snake and the snake bit you. That's what happens. But Judy Aronson, I can't see there being a resolution. That was just wrong after Ted White had spoke so highly of her and connected me. That was just wrong. So there you go. So I thought it was funny. Scotty McCoy approached her at a con, didn't buy anything off her table. He just asked her, he said, I just have a question for you. And she said, what is it? And he said, what did you treat Greg so badly? And he said that she went white as a ghost and acted like she didn't know who I was. And I was like, of course she knows who I am. Of course she does. But she can't answer because she knows she fucked up. But here's the thing. I thought it was amazing because Scotty, I didn't tell him to do that. But I thought it was so cool that he thought well enough of me that he'd do that. He wasn't bought. So, but Ted White's son's welcome on here. I'd love to hear some of his stories. So there you go. He should play one of the werewolves.
Right. He's actually got there's a trio, and he's one of the heroes.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Is your squirrel going to transform?
we'll have to wait and see. A were squirrel would be a great movie.
I got a question. Is your squirrel's favorite movie The Nut Job?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lives
he
with
likes
me.
it. Is he a big fan of uh, that Christmas vacation scene? And do you ever have situations like that where he jumps out and you have to run around?
Yeah.
And then the
No,
dog.
he's pretty rambunctious. He runs and jumps on us all the time. The only time it's quote unquote dangerous is if he has a peanut. Then he thinks you're trying to take it, and he gets a little chippy.
There you go. There you go. Well, I love
By the
the.
way, world will fight you to the death for a peanut. Just so you know, for future reference.
So this is
Hey,
going to be a huh?
oh, I was just gonna say my sons are coming in. We're gonna have dinner.
Dinner. You
Yeah.
need to lose some weight, man. Fuck that. You sit in here. You don't need out there eating and slopping all over the plate.
How can I have my ice cream if I don't eat my food? I can't eat like that anymore after my heart attack, or not as much as I'd like to
Oh,
anyway.
you had a heart attack?
Yeah, last year.
I'm sorry to hear that. You know what? I had a retina operation this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had some spots in front of my right eye. On January 10th, I noticed it, and I was told, "Oh, just with old age." That exactly 10 days later, on January 20th, it was like or I had about 20% vision. It was like a curtain of black over about 80% of it. So
Wow.
I had to get my brother because I wasn't allowed to drive. Even though I got 20/20 in this eye. He had to take me to Halifax, which I've never been before, to get a retina operation. And I come back here, and eventually I got a cataract operation. They don't put you under for that either, but it does. It's not painful. It's not painful. Very Clockwork Orange like though. But then I just had a laser thing done, so I got some drops. Like it's a little distorted looking at you, but I can see you in your background and this and that. course, you're distorted anyway, so what the fuck am I talking about?
Right.
But that was my big thing this year, and I'm still trying to get moved to Toronto because with me doing the podcast, I think it's my scene. And where I had the issue at working at the hospital last year, I went and had blood work done recently, and I went to Oromocto to get it done, which is 20 minutes away. I'm not going into that hospital after the way I was treated, so and I still hear from people that work there that say they missed having me there because they could always call me. Yeah, but they get the gaslighters, and they'll have to live with that. But I think Toronto is where I belong because, like I said, there's a lot of cons there, and we just need to get a better fucking government. And I think that's something you and I can both agree on. But I'd be happy to shoot a scene for you on my phone. I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. And if you want to give me a little text about when the time comes, what you round
Actually,
about
if you feel rambunctious about it, you can do it whenever you want to send it to me while the
I
iron's
can
hot.
do that. I wish
Yeah.
I had a Canadian flag or something behind me, but I could certainly mention it. I'd probably do it right here in the apartment because I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I know exactly what I want to do with it, and I think it would be funny because I imagine your film's gonna have a lot of humor in it, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think I know exactly what you're going for. So I have an idea of what I think will work. And again, I'm happy that you got to connect with Debbie Sue. Just before you go, what was it like meeting her? Because I'm sure she never wants to meet me.
It was really pleasant. She showed up and it was really like I'd known her forever, and we went out, we checked out some of the locations and then went out and had lunch, and then we went over the script and everything, and she brought all of her equipment and like trained the crew and everything on how to use everything. Gigantic help, and she's been really awesome in the fact that she is letting me fall down and letting me get up. She's not pushing anything on me. She's not messing with me. She's letting me learn. She's there to produce. If I call her, I need something. Okay, boom, taken care of. I need a bit of advice. Well, what would you do here and this kind of thing? Boom, So it's been really nice.
Yeah, I love her hair. I gotta say, it gives her a youthful look. You know,
Yeah,
what'd she
people
think
always
of your
stop
beard?
there.
What'd she think of your beard? Did she reach out to touch it just to see if it was real?
No, no,
Did she meet the
no. Even
squirrel?
I wasn't sure about it at first, but then it grew on me.
Did she meet the squirrel?
She did not.
You
At least
cheated
not
her
yet.
on that one.
Yeah, she's gonna have to wait for the big screen.
Yeah. Well, I think I got one more question then before we close off.
All right.
Are we going to have a cameo from your boss shoveling a big chunk
Yeah.
of werewolf shit that's sitting in the parking lot and have to load it by backhoe into a dumpster? Are we going to get that? There's a
Not this time.
Troy,
Waiting for the 3D version.
up the budget for more shit. Your boss wants to do this. I don't know him. I don't know his name, but I said that my sixth sense tells me he wants to do this.
Yes. Something about shoveling human feces or werewolf feces.
Well, man, I wish you luck on this. Yeah, I'll shoot that for you, and I hope you
Awesome.
like it. I think I know what I'm going to do.
All right.
And
Cool.
yeah, I hope it works out for you. And I hope you can convince Debbie Sue to cameo in your movie. If you got an idea, knock it out of the park. And if there's
I'm working
anything I
on it.
can do to connect you with anybody, let me know.
I'll do it.
But
I'll
check
do
to
it,
see,
sure.
yeah, and check to see if Eddie Deason has a web page. I'm sorry you had that experience, but you might be able to work around it because Eddie, I've only interviewed him the one time, and when I interviewed him, he was in a hotel, so I can't call that number, and you know,
Right.
but I'm pretty like he was really cool to talk to, and he sounds exactly like that, as you think. And if you get him to play the pre, I think that would be epic casting. So,
Yeah, I'm trying.
well, well, you're now a five-timer on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Next year
I'm
on
looking
June
forward to
20.
next year on the 21st.
Yeah, that seems to be your time. That's when I guess that's when summer start officially starts or something like that. But
Right.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you got James Balsamo in your film.
I'd love to. I would love to have him in there.
Ask him. You've done enough shit for him. Tell him.
Yeah, I should.
I met Gina Vivarossi at Chiller.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had fun at Chiller, but that was interesting. That was interesting, but that was my first maybe my last time doing a con in the States because fuck. Here, if I leave here and go to Toronto, I can just get off and get on a subway and go. I land in New Jersey. I got to wait for 2 hours of fucking immigration.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was like, yeah. It's like, can I just go? I don't know, but I have fun. I have fun. So there you go.
All
But
right, buddy. Well, let me know about that video, and then we'll talk to you long before next year. But I will definitely come back on next 21st. So
absolutely,
sounds fantastic. And
absolutely,
then yeah, shoot me the video when you get done, and I'll store it.
absolutely, we can do that.
Sounds good,
Absolutely,
man.
perfect, perfect. Anyway, God bless you,
You
and
too, my friend.
run for president because we need somebody in charge that knows what they're doing. And holy fuck, you don't know what you're. Well, they don't either. So fuck, you might as well
Might as well.
take it easy,
All
Troy.
right, bud. Have a good
All
one.
right, yeah, take it easy.
All right.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.